How do you manage the battle inside of your head? In this video today, I'm going to talk about that battle through maybe analysis paralysis, or you overthink or obsess on things and you're just trying to figure something out or work through a problem, and that battle just continues, or your obsession on the thing just plays on a loop and you just can't stop it. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Cappi Pidwell and I'm a master of NLP and hypnotherapy. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. And we're really going to dive into that battle, right? And then not just dive into it, but how do you fix it? How do you create the change? And again, on this channel, I really teach entrepreneurs, sales professionals, coaches, real estate agents, anyone who has to self generate to really increase their income and their outcomes through my subconscious trainings. So it's important that if you're somebody who's tried everything and maybe you've done coaching and read good books and vision boards and affirmations and those types of things, and you're just not getting the outcome you want, I'm going to suggest you stay tuned, probably grab a pen and paper. And in a lot of my videos, I share exercises and processes and things you can do to get the outcome. Because here I say, don't just get inspired, get rewired. So let's dive into today's topic, the battle in your own mind and how to fix it. Okay, so you're someone who has this often constant battle, and maybe you tend to overanalyze or overthink things. And even if your gut is telling you something different, on paper it looks good, or you analyze it to death and you don't do what maybe intuitively you think you should do, and then you end up in a situation and then you obsess even more on it. Oh, I should have listened, or I kind of knew, or whatever is happening inside that battle, right? So I want you to understand this is not about you versus the world and the situation or the outcomes. It's really your consciousness versus your subconscious programming. You see, most people try to outthink the problem. And then that's very stressful. It's very traditional, by the way. Most people operate like this because they haven't had the subconscious training, and we were not taught this stuff in school, right? We have to learn it later in life, usually. And all the training out there is like on how to do something and get your goals and stay focused, and lots of good information, certainly. I was taught those exact same things until I started learning this stuff 30 years ago, right? So, it's really about understanding your subconscious mind and your core programs that are running your daily decisions. Okay, so real change happens when you start to reprogram or rewire, what I often say, the part of your mind that's actually running your thoughts. Most people don't know that you have over 500 thoughts a minute flowing into your consciousness. So, where are those thoughts coming from? They're coming from your past, they're coming from your experiences, they're coming from your so called reality. Well, the reality lives right here, right? Based on your programming, your belief system, your behaviors, and of course, again, your experiences. So I want to talk about these two different voices, if you will, these voices in your head, or this battle, if you will. Okay. So there's two parts of your mind. One is the conscious logical mind that research states is only 5 to 10% of the mind. But this is the thinking part of your mind where you live all day, every day, thinking, 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 right? And this is where you set your goals. This is where you have your intentions, your vision, the things you say, like, I want to make more money, or I want that house, or I want a relationship. And this is really important because you have to know, obviously, where you want to go and what direction you're moving in, right? So those things are extremely important. But then you have the second part of your mind, which is your subconscious mind. And this is where the battle kind of starts to happen. So this subconscious part of you is where your old beliefs live. It's at the, again, I've talked about it in my other videos, underneath the surface of that logical, tactical, analytical mind, you have this much deeper wisdom. You have these old belief systems. You have these old programs and old emotions and energies, if you will, that keep that familiar feeling how you were wired very alive. And that's hard for people to, again, analytically understand, because the deeper part of you doesn't need to be analyzed. It's already so. it often needs to be upgraded. It needs to be adjusted, if you will. Again, rewiring, right? How do you rewire that part of you that, let's just say, if you want to increase your income, but you have a stronger relationship to lack, you have a stronger relationship to struggle. Maybe you're somebody who stresses a lot over things. That innate energy through your neurons and through your behaviors and your emotions and your feelings and your constant thoughts about all that continues to produce your results. And this is really powerful for people to understand because that battle in the head says, I want to make more money or I want to hit my peak performance or whatever the goal is you want. But then nobody's really addressing the inner battle, right? So that is the biggest thing to this ongoing over obsession, thinking, analyzing. People aren't tuning into what is underneath that. What is the true feeling? If I want to make more money, how do I truly feel about money? Right? So if somebody says, I want to make $1 million, but inside they feel like that's not possible, or I couldn't reach that, the person in my office does it, or, whatever. Because this is where your old emotions live in the subconscious. This is your core identity. I actually did a video on that last week. If you guys haven't seen it, you should definitely go check it out. It's really, how do you change, again, these subconscious beliefs, these emotions, these habitual feelings that you've had for so long because it is your past conditioning. And then this keeps those survival based programs alive, if you will. So, from that perspective of that subconscious patterning, let's look at maybe why you sabotage, even if you're motivated or you want something or you're desiring something so bad, that battle in the brain, if you will, and you're reading the affirmations and you're trying to get the thing and you're making more calls or you're, pounding on more doors or whatever it is you're doing, marketing yourself on social media, what have you. um Remember, those activities are going to be in alignment with the core belief. So let me give you a for instance. I was speaking at an event the other day, and this I was talking to a bunch of salespeople. This person was like, Cappy, I have to make 100 calls a day or whatever. And I absolutely hate it. But I got to do it. And I dread it. And I put it off and I make excuses and da 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 da. And I get to 20 and I'm just so burnt out. Like, I literally want to do it. I know I should do it, but I just can't. Right. So it's very common for people to know what they need to do, and yet they just can't do it because that energy or insight, maybe they have the belief that says, I hate it when people call me. I don't want to feel like a salesperson. Um, there's just, I don't want the fear of rejection. I don't want somebody to be mean to me. It's all the inner thoughts and energy that actually prevent the activity of picking up the phone. And then you can get another individual that's like, I rock the phone. I love the phone. Everyone on the other end becomes my friend." So what is their belief about that? The activity is the same, and I guarantee you the outcomes are different. And I really want you guys to get that, because when we have a battle in our head that I want to increase my results or my activity or my business, or I want more income or I want more clients or I want more leads, you have to believe from within you or work on that belief system that either aligns with a rich money mindset, or, the phone is my friend mindset, or I love to put myself out there energy versus, oh, I really want to create success, but I hate getting on a video, or whatever. I just want you to understand the conflict. The conscious mind wants something. The subconscious is 90% of your mind, and it always wins. Always, always, always. Do the math. 5 to 10, 90. So the subconscious success channel, the reason I created this channel is because so many people are trying to create these results, and I speak at all these events and I go to all these meetings and I hear the same thing over and over. Just do this, do this, do this. But the people inside are like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. That's too hard. That is difficult for me, or what have you. And that's based on their internal beliefs, where someone else could sit there and go, "Pff, I got that. That's easy. I can do that." So I want you to understand, this is the battle that you deal with because you're thinking about something, you're obsessing about something, you're overthinking about the thing or the problem or the activity or whatever, or maybe the lack of money or how to get more money or how to make more money. It's a very common conversation I have with my clients. Um, and again, your mind is wired to do what feels familiar. So I want to tell another quick story about a lady I met recently, and I met her at an event I did, and she came up to me and we chit chatted, and she started telling me all these past problems she had. And they were very real life problems. Someone in her family passed away. She's stressed over money. She's got family conflicts going on since the death, like just a lot of stuff. So, of course, then she's like, I can't focus. I can't work. I need to work, blah, blah, blah. So, after we had a quick conversation about her mindset in general, she was like, I can't stop obsessing. Well, it's already passed, it's already done. So, I'm like, have you ever considered focusing forward and thinking about the next chapter of your life versus she keeps going back to the last chapter, but that loop was so thick and so strong. So literally just even after we did a consultation on the phone and now she's working with me, we did the consultation and she texted me today literally and said, I just got a deal today. I cannot believe just that conversation with you. It just keeps me focusing forward. So sometimes it's that flip of the switch, right? Because you're on autopilot, right? So, and the subconscious will also ask you, not out loud or verbally in your head, but it will identify if this is safe for you. So, if you want to create more money and money's not been your habitual pattern or stress over money has been that pattern, then that energy might not feel safe, right? And this is really, really interesting for people because when it comes to growth and expanding and getting their goals, a lot of times I'll talk to people and they'll go, "Oh, Cappy, I want to do it, but I can't afford it." Well, you've probably said you can't afford it 5 million times. So you keep not being able to afford things again, and then you overthink, and I'll try this and I'll do this. And 6 months later, I see that exact same person, and their outcomes in their bank account are exactly the same because they haven't shifted that subconscious belief, that subconscious program. And then, people get distracted or they do a million other things. They start, they stop. And it's not because you're lazy or broken or you don't have the knowledge or the desire. It's because your subconscious mind is trying to protect that old belief, that old identity, that familiar feeling you've had. So let's look at some of the invisible programs that you have. And again, the battle inside the head. I'm going to share how to fix it in a few minutes, but I want you to get why you battle with yourself. This is so powerful. So you might think things deeply like money's hard to make, but you don't say that. And then you're like, I'm going to make $1 million. And then inside you're like, ugh, but it's really hard. I want you to get the conflict. You have that one part of you that wants it and the other part of you that again is stronger, right? So sometimes people will say, well, so and so can do it, but I've never hit that mark. I don't believe I can do it. Well, if you don't believe it first, you have to feel it and believe it first. And then the outcomes follow, right? The universe is like a mirror. It's going to reflect you. So you're the person putting the energy, the words, the emotions, the feelings, the voice, everything out there. So if you're putting out lack and struggle and belief in, I can't get there or do that, then it's precisely the universe is just going to simply reflect it back. So that's often why people, do affirmations and they do their vision boards. But when they create those things, it's usually coming from an energy of lack. Oh, if I say this enough, it sure would be nice. Or they look at their vision board and it's outside of themselves like a dream, right? Or they get really motivated after something and then that fades over, a few weeks. So it's really important to understand that part of you is so powerful. So, how do we change this? How do you stop arguing with that inner obstacle, that challenge of your overthinking, the battle in the brain, if you will? How do you fix this thing? So, I am going to give you 3 tips on how to do that. Okay. Most people fight their own thoughts. As I mentioned earlier, they have a thought, but their gut says something else. And I'm going to tell you right now, your gut is always right. Start tuning into your gut. Okay. So some of the things you want to do is observe the thought. So let's say you're obsessing. I'm going to use money. It's a common conversation, and you're just stressed and worried. Oh my gosh, I need to make more than this. And I find that people at every level want to make more, no matter what they're doing. It's kind of fascinating, but just observe that common thought you say. If you don't know what your common conversation is inside your own head, How are you going to change it? It's like watching a show on TV or Netflix or something, and then you hate the show, but you go back and hit play and keep watching it. Well, you wouldn't do that. But why do you go back to those familiar thoughts? So I want you to observe the common thing, I call it a common complaint, a frequency or feeling that you say and think often. Okay, that's number one. And then I want you to identify it, but give it like a label or a name, right? So, oh, this is the lack conversation or the old pattern, old money pattern, whatever. Kind of identify it so you know when it starts to happen, you can like flip the switch. Oh, I'm doing that thing again. That's the familiar thing I say and do and struggle and battle because it is familiar. You've done it, I guarantee, thousands and said it thousands and felt it thousands. You've done it for years usually. Okay? So, like, I'll give you an example. Somebody could think something all the time, "Oh, I always mess things up," or "I never seem to get it right," right? So, you can say something like, "Okay, that's an old familiar feeling. It's an old programming, but I'm becoming someone who starts to follow through." Start to talk to your subconscious like it's a 3-year-old, right? It tells the subconscious, "I am open to a new identity, a new behavior, a new feeling forming." I hope you get that. It's really, really powerful. Okay, so let me give you tip number 2. Okay. Instead of doing an affirmation like, I am the most confident person in the world. Um, I'm a master of neurolinguistic programming and I am a master hypnotherapist. So I'm very into the words and how you frame and say and feel things, right? So instead of saying things like, "Oh, I just want more confidence," or "I want more money," or, whatever you're doing and you're putting it outside of yourself, the subconscious is already inside of you, right? I want you to just you can close your eyes on this video if you want for a minute, but if you close your eyes and think about your heartbeat for a minute, do you have to tell your body to beat your heart? Like it has been beating since you were conceived. That is the subconscious. That's the innate intelligence. What about all your organs that were put in your body? What about your bones, your blood flow, the trillions of cells that live inside of you? That is your subconscious. Your body isn't who it is today as it was when you were 7 or 10 or 12. The body's growing, it's changing, it's evolving. You're not telling your body, please grow, please, do whatever. That's the innate intelligence. That is your subconscious. It is orchestrating imperfection and it is with you 24/7, which to me is really spirit, right? So we are created by the creator, whatever your color or race or religion or whatever, we're all created from the creator. And we all have this innate intelligence, just as the ocean does, the trees do, the animal kingdom does, the plant kingdom does, like what makes a little tiny seed grow grass, right? Like same thing, what grows us. So we're all connected to this innate intelligence. So to me, because I have a mind, we have this logical battle we deal with. I have to tap into the subconscious. I have to begin within to believe that this innate intelligence exists. My limiting beliefs are what got programmed into me as a person, but I have the power and the capacity to create myself newly every single day. Yeah. So instead of saying things like, I want more money, I want more confidence, I am confidence. I am, of course, we all know the I am, right? I am already familiar with feeling richer. I am already feeling more comfortable with more, right? Like state things as you are, not who you want to be outside of yourself. And that's the problem a lot with goals and, vision boards. Everything's outside of you. You have to begin within you. Can't emphasize that enough, you guys. So, I am wired to create more monies and opportunities. Like I am rewiring my mindset for millions, right? If you feel that, you close your eyes and tap into your heartbeat, which by the way, beats over 86,000 times a day without our consciousness awareness. Our eyes blink, we swallow, we move our hands, do all these great things, right? That is our consciousness emanated through this version of Cappi, if you will, right? So knowing that power, knowing my subconscious, knowing how to rewire, knowing how to get people new outcomes and getting new income and getting new lives, if you will, new identities is extremely powerful. So, all right, let me get a tip number three. You want to install these programs absolutely, in the morning, you've heard that, or when you're going to bed at night, because this is really important, for repetitions. I do have subconscious sessions. There's a reason for that. You put it on, you fall asleep to it, it starts saturating into that subconscious mind. And that's when your subconscious is most impressionable, right? It's relaxed. That battle in the mind starts to quiet down, hopefully. But that's the beauty of it. It's not about trying harder and overanalyzing and obsessing and analytical everything. You don't change your life by trying harder. I mean, have you not already done that? Like, it blows me away when people work with me and they get into either my small group or my one-on-one coaching. I have to undo more than I have to do for people, if that makes sense. Because you really change your life by upgrading your subconscious mind. And it's just a powerful, powerful way to do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, I want you to understand that this is a practice. Most people are trying to change their life and their business with conscious effort and this battle inside your head and analysis. And I'm not saying don't do that. Of course, you have to make logical decisions first, but it's the loop, it's the obsession, it's the battle. Here's a really good additional bonus tip I want to give you. Okay. When people tell me, oh, Cappi, I want to work with you and, I want to get these outcomes and yada, yada. But I don't know, or I have to talk to my spouse, whatever. I totally get it. I'm like, yeah, go do that. But here's what I want you to do. And I'm going to tell you all this as well. Anything you want to accomplish, give yourself like, I don't know, 5 hours to make the decision. Don't sit on the decision for 2 weeks. It's a brain drain. So get clear. Like, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to find a relationship. I'm going to make more money, whatever it is. Give yourself time to analyze it all, go through that process, and then set a timer if you have to, or look at the clock and be like, okay, I'm going to give this 5 hours or 10 hours and I'm done. I'm making the decision. Very successful people make decisions. They don't sit on the fence for 2 months thinking about the same thing. Okay, give yourself a time limit. And again, that's when change starts to happen, because your subconscious, I promise you, it's running all your behaviors, it's running your thoughts, it's running your feelings, and it is absolutely running your outcomes and your income. Promise you, you have a relationship to money. That relationship, either to lack or stress or worry or fear or not enoughness or whatever, been there a long time. It is a process to rewire this. I'm going to tell you. It's why I have systems. You can go to my website. I have one program on there for just $97. It's called Rewire Your Money Mindset. I've been doing this for 30 years, you guys, helping people upgrade their outcomes, their business, their systems, their income, and personally and professionally. So I just want to close with this. If you loved this video, please like. It really helps me. I'm working on growing the channel. Subscribe to my channel and click the little bell so that you get the new videos, and share it with a friend. And again, if you want me to talk about something, feel free to comment. I really like reading the input and hearing from you guys, right? So if you're serious about creating real internal changes to get new outcomes, more income, I do work with people in 2 different ways live. Again, you can go to my website. It is my name, CappiPidwell.com. You can buy programs online for as little as $97. Or if you want to apply to work with me, there is a link in the notes below to book a call with me. And on this call, it's just an alignment call to see if you're a fit for one of my 2 programs. I do a small group where I help entrepreneurs, professional people upgrade their money mindset, their results, their sales, their closings, their confidence, really to monetize you and help you get clear on what that looks like. And that's an 8-week program. And then I work one to one with people for 90 days and I create all your strategies for you. I help you basically build the systems around you and then upgrade your mindset. That is by application only. I only take a few of those people a month. So, again, the link is below. Please click on it, fill out the questionnaire, and then we'll chit chat and see if it's a fit for both of us for you to get your subconscious mind rewired. Again, I often say, don't just get inspired. Get rewired if you want real results. So thanks for tuning in. And again, please remember to like and subscribe. I will see you soon.